Super. Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. We'll be starting very soon. Just checking here the settings. It will be great if someone from the audience can help us just to check if it's working. We are testing new tools here.
Hello, everyone.
Super. Thanks, Laura. We'll wait just a minute for more people to join. We'll start right away. Super.
Hello, Andrea. Welcome.
Super. I think we are ready to start. Thanks everyone for joining. We know that at this moment for logistic experts and for logistic professionals, the time is very valuable. So thanks again for this time. Today we are going to talk a bit about digital freight. And for that, I have the pleasure to be here with Sara Veracruz, who is our customer success manager. She has more than 10 years of experience in the supply chain industry, helping different startups to grow. And also Enrique, who has a strong experience in product and project management, and who is leading the solution and the product development at Cargo5 team. So today we have a very packed agenda, I will say. We'll go through, first we'll talk a bit about the market trends, basically what's going on in the industry, a few topics, major forces that are impacting the freight forwarders. Then we'll move into solutions. We'll talk a bit about the new innovations, and also we'll see a demo of Cargo5 in action. And next to it, we'll talk a bit about the future. What is next? Here we'll cover a bit about what's going on in terms of AI, APIs, no-code tools, and how we see the future of the market and how freight forwarders can embrace all the changes that are going on in the market. And at the end, we'll leave a few minutes for Q&A. So please, you can share your comments on the chat. We'll be posting on the live a banner where you can tap and you can comment, you can share your challenge as freight forwarders, you can share any doubt that you have during the presentation that we'll cover at the end. So before we start, a bit about us, at Cargo5, we have been working for several years on the mission to help freight forwarders to automate and to digitize their process using new tools, using technology, so they can reduce manual work and have more efficiency process. And in the other side, what we are doing to bring this innovation and this efficiency is that we have an online platform where all the freight forwarders can integrate rate, quotes, and schedules in a single place. So with these solutions, they can save more than 90% of their time on the procurement and quoting process, and more than 25% of their costs on these operational and procurement tasks. So we have been doing that with more than 150 freight forwarders working in more than 20 countries with great results. So we are happy today to share more about what we have been doing and what we see in terms of future of the industry. So let's start with the market, what's going on. And here I feel like the right word to describe this is a roller coaster, right? After the pandemic, we have seen container shipping industry with different black swans or problems appearing in a constant way. After the pandemic, when we have a switch in demand, we have problems in terms of container shortage. We have the Canal Suez problem. Then we have different geopolitical problems, Red Sea attacks, for example. And all these different factors made rates going from a few hundred to 12K and then to a few thousand. So there's a lot of dynamic pricing in the market. And at the end, visibility about this information is vital. Understanding what's going on is vital because, as we know and as we always like to say, 90% of all the goods are being moved on the containers. And this is impacting in the price of all the goods that we consume every day, right? So the scope, and if we look at the paths after these 5-6 years, and we analyze what happened, and then we go into 2025, we know that the situation is not going to be different. Now the new normal is to have these black swans, these different geopolitical things that are impacting on rates, on service, and in all the freight forwarders. So if we enter into 2025, we have different things to analyze. We know that with Trump administration, we have new different tariff policies to Canada, Mexico, China that will impact, of course, in the supply chain operations. Then we have negotiations with the Israel and Hamas problem that this made the shipping lines to have two plans, right? Now we have shipping lines with a plan to go through the Red Sea and another going through the Canal of Good Hope through South Africa. So, of course, this will impact, even if we see 100% on the Red Sea, this will take time, and this, of course, will impact transit time and also volatile rates. And last but not least, as we know, now we have new global carrier alliances. These months, in fact, started the Gemini alliance to operate. So we will see the impact on the service. And in a daily basis, again, freight forwarders needs to be aware that we will have volatile rates and differences between estimated transit time and real transit time and service, as we know and we have seen for the past few years, right? And in the other side, and the big question, as we always say, is how we can access that data. What's going on? We know that rates are going to continue fluctuating, services are going to continue to change. So how we ensure that we have the best information, the most accurate information, and how we access this data, right? And in this scenario, there is a completely new battleground in the market. If we compare to 2018, where we had zero online pricing, now we are talking that 90% of the top shipping lines are offering inline pricing. And not only online pricing, they are offering rates that are valid only for 24 hours. Some cases we have for minutes or for hours. So this means that if you don't access the data in real time, if you are not constantly updating this information, we can lose thousands of millions of dollars in operations, right? So this is a very important topic. And in the other side, what we've seen with our customers and with different freight forwarders that we have been working is that they still receiving a lot of data via Excel file, via PDF, via email. On average, due to our proprietary data we have been analyzing, on average, freight forwarders are receiving 50 files, amendments, and new rates per month. And if we go to bigger freight forwarders, we're talking about 250, 300 files or updates via email that receive each country with updates on these rate fluctuations and service updates, right? So this is the scenario. This is what we have been analyzing and the insights that we have. And And someone that has better insights and can help us today, and I would like to invite, is Sara, who is, as I mentioned, our head of customer success, has been talking with several customers and have better insights. And I would like to invite her to talk a bit about the challenges that the freight forwarders are having and how they are solving and tackling this situation that is in the market. Sarita?
Yeah, thank you, Sebastian. And continuing what you were saying, if we start at the point that you are freight forwarders receiving more than 50 rate sheets each month. The problem is those rate sheets, they have more than 3 amends during that period. And it's important to understand why the shipping lines are changing so many times the value of each rate. So the first key value is regarding the changing of consumer demand. So as we know, the consumer are changing, and the porters in key markets such as Far East or North America are changing. So the shipping lines, they really need to move different ways the equipment that they have, and also the availability in key markets and key trades. The second key factor really that we need to have in mind is the rising of operational costs. So we have right now the IMO 2023 regulations, we have rising fuel costs, and of course inflation that are driving the rates even higher. So another problem that we have. And another key factor, of course, is relating with the geopolitical factors regarding the new era of USA, the Israel war, and even the trade embargoes that we are facing right now, for example, to Russia. So the biggest challenge that you have once is the comparison of all the rates that you have available in your house, in your company. But then you need to evaluate schedules and then the service, right? Because the customer, they want the price, but they really want to know if they book, they're going to get the service, because this is something that is not so real right now, because we have so many changes. So we really need to be prepared. And if you get that with manual processes like comparing Excel sheets, email, PDF, and then all the online spot rates that we have right now, more than 9 of the biggest shipping lines that we have, of course, you're going to miss opportunities. So I think the key solution, or what you have to have in mind, is that the solution is to centralize all the rate management, centralize procurement, centralize operations, and of course the sales. And if you have the right tool, for example, you have the ERP, you have your TMS, but then if you have, for example, a platform or a CRM system, you can quote faster. So imagine generate a quote with 2 clicks, for example. You can compare all the options with FAK contracts, name account contracts, and then the spot rates. You can negotiate better, because if you have all the solutions of, for example, 5 different shipping line, you can go to the A and say, okay, the B is getting me this solution. Can we negotiate, for example? And then, of course, the schedules, to be able to see all the schedules in a single view. And besides that, have a tool that allow you to edit, to use a quote as a template if you want, whenever you want and whatever you need. And then the impact of that, I think, is going to be two major things. One will be the time saving. And now I can bring some case studies that we have in-house in Cargo5. For example, we have freight forwarders saying that before using Cargo5 as a tool, they spend 2 hours quoting a ad hoc deal. And 2 hours, it's a lot, right? And after, with Cargo5, they just start quoting, or they spend only 15 minutes quoting a new customer or a new deal. Why? Because it's everything centralized. And then also the sales performance. Why? Imagine that you are, for example, an external salesperson. and you are right now in a meeting in your customer, and the customer say to you, okay, do you have a solution for a trade Barcelona to Shanghai 20 feet container? And maybe the salesperson will say, yeah, just let me go to my office and I will write you an email with all the information. But if you have a tool, for example, that you can access in your cell phone, you go there, you do a search, you click on whatever result you want to use, or even if you want to filter to have a more precise and more quicker result, you can do that, and then just do the quote and send right away to the customer. So these two kind of things that you can say, oh, okay, but it's not so relevant, but it's relevant, and is not just the convenience. It's really a necessity that you need to have. And also, if you want to stay in line, if you want to stay competitive, you definitely need to digitalize. Whatever it will be, even using a platform or other system, but you should do that step right today. And also another thing that I think it's important to mention is that, I don't know, but maybe in 5 years, you're going to have only web spot rates to use to quote the customer. So FAK quotes, I think they're going to disappear, and the name account may be going to stay for tenders or for bigger accounts, but then the spots, they are the future. So I don't know what you think, Sebastian, but I think definitely this is kind of the mindset that freight forwarders, they need to have right now.
Thanks, Sarita. Yeah, at the end, what we've seen, and I think since we started, a big change in the industry was that first we needed more to educate about this problem and talk with the freight forwarders about maybe in 2018, 2019, the benefits of having all this data in a single place. Now I believe that the market knows what they want. I think that is not kind of the innovators that are having these tools, right? It's like it's a must-have. And it's not a nice to have as it was maybe in 2018, 2019, right? So yeah, things are changing. We need to adapt. All the players in the industry are pushing for that, and yeah, it's time, of course, for innovation, for products update in a faster way, I believe. And technology is helping to that. We will talk a bit about that. But yeah, first. I would like to move into the solution part, right? What we have seen that it works, as Sarah say, make it more visual. And also, I would like to bring Enrique to tell us a bit about the updates, like from the feedback that we receive from customers, what are the main topics that we are developing, main features that we are launching, and yet to show a bit how it works and how it applies for the entire freight forwarder market. Kike.
Thanks, Sebas. Well, hi, everyone. Nice to meet you, and thanks for coming here about the product updates. Well, today I want to walk you through the most important changes in this new version of Cargofy. So I will give you a quick overview. We'll go step by step through the entire process, doing a search to generating quotations to understand how these new functionalities will work in the future, okay? So as Sebas mentioned before, at Cargofy, we work with online rates from the world's leading shipping lines, but we also digitize information from files like docs, PDF, and even emails. But until now, we have only worked with routes and prices. And one of the most important things that we are changing now with this new version is that our tool is going to map almost all the information from the contract that you have. So this includes data such as commodities, bias, validity rates per date, arbitraries, and more, no? So this information will allow us to build larger number of rates and taking all these variables into account and making price analysis much more precise and accurate. So let's see some examples to how this works, no? This is our rate finder. I want to present to you if you don't know. The idea is I will run a search from the port of Rosario in Argentina here, which is the country where I am speaking to you today, and to the port of Valencia in Spain. And in these examples, we are going to see that we normally find spot rates and online rates, but also rates from our contracts now. So in the contract rate cards, you will notice that the rates apply to a specific commodity, that in this case is metal. And we have two different services with two different prices now. The first one is a rate of a direct service that you can check all the searches that are involved in this rate, while the second one is a service with a transshipment that also includes an arbitrary surcharge that apply in origin, okay? So if there are surcharges that apply to a specific commodity or surcharge that include the freight costs, we can also find this information in the detailed view. But this is just one example of how the system will be able to build more complete rates for contract information for a better price comparison, as Sarita says before, no? So the second functionality we want to introduce here is about schedule management. Because now on Cargofy, you will get information about the schedules of the most important shipping companies and for the roof of your contract. The process is basically exactly the same as before. You just have to do a new search in the rate finder. In the following example, we can see that the contract rate card has information about departure days and arrival dates. And if you go to the detail view, we can find all the possible schedules for that route and select the one you want to send that information to the quote, or simple to keep you informed about possible changes in departure or arrival dates. This functionality will be useful not only for sales team, but also for the operations team who are constantly monitoring this kind of movement, okay? And well, let's go to our quote. Because after selecting our rates and generating a new quotation from Cargofy, the first thing you will see in our quote module is the general information page that is in the screen now. And here we have a summary of all the rates included in this quotation. But we have also introduced the options to add new rates without leaving the quotation. So you have the options to keep adding rates here. And finally, you can manage all the terms and conditions and general comment for your quote. But if we move to the freight charges sections, we can see one of the most important changes in this quotation process, that is the handling of surcharge itself, because now we manage a structure based on cost price and sales price. And this structure allows for better traceability of information with ERPs when we are trying to integrate a quotation, okay? So in the cost sections, we can see basically the information that we retrieve from the rate finder, while in the sale price, we basically define amount with or margins for this cost, basically. So in this example, we have a freight charge and a surcharge that are grouped under just one concept, like freight all-in, and with a total cost of $47, which is the sum of the cost below. And I will set here a sales price of $100 for this. And at the bottom, we can see the cost to sales ratio and our margins updated in real time. And this is something that happens in every step of the quotation process, okay? So with this new structure, local charges also are divided by carriers for better management and visibility of costs. So like in the following example, we can see that we have origin charges from Maersk and origin charges from Evergreen too. And here we also have the possibility of managing the sell price individually for each charge, or just grouping several charges under a single concept here, to which we will add a sales price, like in the next example, where I will group all these charges in just one concept that I will name as 455. And you have just to manage the sell price in the group head of these charges, okay? But now we are also introducing a rules model to automate all of this margin definition. Okay, so the idea here with this new functionality is that you can set different preconditions that apply automatically to your quotations. For example, you can define rules like apply a 20% markup on freight costs, or just define a flat of $500 for local top expensive, and that will apply automatically to your quote. And the idea with this is that you have a quotation ready to send just with just a few clicks, okay? So finally, regarding the final deliverable of the quote, we have made some modifications to the layout, improving the styles and adjusting it to the new structure. But for this section, we can download the PDF version. That is the traditional way that we are being using for the PDF version. But we also include a digital version which you can access via link using the button on the screen. That is much easier to share through channels like email or even WhatsApp, as Sarah said before, because we all have a client who asks, can you send me the information by WhatsApp, please? So now you have the option in Cargofy. So this is all by my side. Thanks for hearing, and I leave you back with Sebas, who has more interesting things to share.
Thanks, Kike, for all the explanation. And yeah, at the end, what we have done is we have learned with the first version of what are the steps that our customers are following to analyze the buying rates and create a selling rate. And then we create layers of automations that will enable our customers to do that without going step by step, right? As Kike showed the manual process, how it works, and the new profit rule model that we are launching will enable our customers to apply for those repetitive requests or inquiries that they have, right, from agents or from customers that need an update every month. All those quotations can be set with the logic and automation, and then being answered without the manual effort of a person. And that's our belief, right? At the end, our customers, freight forwarders, must focus on those critical cases and where they need a human touch and that human part, and not on those repetitive tasks that can be automated, right? So this is a big improvement that we are launching, and not just in terms of web products, but also in terms of API. And this brings us to what we see also in terms of the future of the industry and where we are going. And the first thing is that for Cargofy, and we are seeing that in other companies, right? Top companies, like if we check it, Google or Meta or Amazon, they are developing 20% of the code is being written by AI, right? And at the end, we have seen also that at Cargofy, maybe we are not at that level, but we've seen also that developing and launching and testing, it's becoming every day is faster, every day is easier to interact with the machines, right? To interact with software. There are several tools out there, and this topic that I'm talking about, it doesn't apply only for software companies. It must apply for every organization with the current world that we have. And this is helping us a lot to deliver faster, right? And one thing that enable us to develop and to work faster with this new version that we are launching is that we define API first, right? We develop a huge infrastructure of endpoints for everyone to understand. Endpoints are easy connections that we can get, that we can update, that we can delete information from one software to the other, right? So for example, we have endpoints where we can get all the schedules for a certain port. We can get all my quotation lists, or we can get a specific rate for a 20 DV from port A to point B, right? So these endpoints is the base of our website, but are also endpoints available for anyone that wants to integrate with us. And that's what we have seen in the last few months, right? We are pushing this API infrastructure for different players and enabling more customers to do more tests with our infrastructure in an easy way, right? So today I would like to share 2 cases of these 3 things, right? APIs, using our APIs and APIs from other companies, using AI to integrate into a process, and how AI can add value to our customers with a use case that we did. And everything that I did was with no-code tools. And this no-code concept, I think, is a very important topic for every organization to start pushing and to start developing, right? Freight forwarding has changed, and we need to embrace these tools. We need to push, and we need to set cultural change for everyone in the organization to learn more about this and to understand how the tools can help us to work in a more efficient way, right? So let's go to the use case and to the example that we developed. Basically, we took an email that we received from an agent or from a shipping line with rates, and then we developed an AI-powered rate extraction system. Basically, what we did was we connected this information, the API of the email, to the APIs of Cargo5, API of large language models like OpenAI or DeepSeek. And then once the data is standardized and extracted from the email, then we create a rate in an automated way into our system, also using our post-contract API. So let's give an example. Basically, I received the email from, let's say, freight forwarder X, right? That says China, Far East rate updates. These rates is a new carrier agreement or an updated carrier agreement that we have effective from February 15 to the 28th, right? We have an attachment. This file has different tabs, different surcharges, different container types, a lot of information. So what I can do is I can pick this email and just forward to our system, okay? And this will go into the API connection to different large language model, as I mentioned, and also our proprietary data that will understand this information. And basically will post directly via API the contract rate to our customer on their behalf. So basically the system will notify, hey, I got the rate. This is from X carrier, is valid from this day to this one. And now you can check the data available in this link. So basically, with this set of APIs, using AI to understand what is in the email and translate into a language that the API can read, we are transforming the data and we are sending the data directly to the system. So this is just a small automation that we use several APIs. We develop very fast, and this is something that can save hours to every of our customers. So this is one case of several, of course, that we can create that we believe that will be, of course, these three set of tools, a bit of the future and what's coming in the industry. And in this second case, to simplify, basically is a similar case, but instead of receiving an email with rates, we are receiving a quote request. And this quote request needs to be translated using, again, large language models, proprietary data from Cargo5, and then go to our APIs and ask, hey, create this specific quotation and give me that answer via email, right? So if we see the example, and here I will make it more visual with something that Enrique said, we receive, please quote a 20 DV from Barcelona to Shanghai. We send this to a specific address, and in the backend, what will happen, I will show it more visually, is that the endpoint will go to our database, will search that standardized port's name and container type. It will pick, this can be defined in this test, what we created is pick up the cheapest one, or the best transit time, or X. We can define different rules, take all these costs that are in the same API, gather all that data, and then answer an email using emails APIs again to connect that and to reply to the customer. So in Resume, we receive an answer. This is an example with this quotation. These are the costs, freight, origin, destination charge, all in a few seconds. And this is another example of how maybe it won't apply for 100% of the cases for sure, but this is a very important point that can help maybe reduce 30% of that repetitive tasks that other agents are asking overnight, and you can reply in real time. So that's a bit about how we are seeing the next steps for Cargo5, and also how we see the industry, and how we believe that different players are evolving. And also that's why we push and we help our customer base and everyone involved to test and to help us, of course, continuing pushing for a more digitalized industry. So I think that was it in terms of product innovation and solutions. What we would like to do is give some time. Now we'll give the space to Sarah and Kike to pick some comments or questions that we have, so we can discuss a bit and close with final remarks.
Yeah, let's see if we have any question, but I can see some comments with wow factor, so I think that's positive, and people are thrilled with this new kind of developments. That's good.
Super. If not, also we invite all the audience that can have doubts to reach us directly. You can go through our website at cargo5.com and also directly send us a message to our LinkedIn profiles. And yeah, I think if there are not more questions, I think that's it for today. We'll close here, and thanks again everyone for joining, for your time, and we look forward, of course, to your participation in following events. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, we have